Good morning, and thank you for joining Resilient You with Alicia Pozsony. I want to welcome everyone to today's show. Today, as we approach the end of the last month of the year, December 2022, what a year it has been. We have done so many things on this show. We've had so many different guests, 25 episodes and counting. So I want to take a few minutes at the beginning of this show to go over all the people that have inspired me personally and inspired others through this show. Starting with the first episode back in June, I had my very first guest was Joni Sanchez. Joni Sanchez is an author based out of California, and I know Joni is working on the release of her second book. So if you haven't purchased her first book, go out and get it. You can find it online where books are sold. Joni Sanchez with an S. You will not be disappointed. The next guest I had was Clayton Echard. Clayton Echard was a bachelor on ABC's The Bachelor, and he was very, very wonderful to interview. He had and started on his approach to personal fitness and motivational speaking. Just amazing services available by him. If you happen to go on Insta, you'll see a bit of some of his workouts. You'll see how you can get a better quality of life through the wonderful things that he can provide. So again, Clayton Echard, go out and find him on Instagram. The next guest I had was a colorful guest. We had Edie Weinstein. Edie, I know recently Edie has ventured on in her career. She not only did a TED Talk, but she also has a feature in a newspaper column. So if you have anything acts of kindness out in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, please reach out to her. I'm sure she would love to feature you on her in her newspaper column. My next guest was Leslie Ferguson. Leslie also was an author. She put out a book, and I saw recently as well, she actually has a featured story in another book that was just released. I'm just going down the list because I'm so thankful. That's how I want to end this. You guys, you've all been my guest, my Christmas present this year. Being guests on my show, it's really been an honor. Next, I had Ryan Pandolfini. Ryan was a former baseball player, and he really just embraced teaching kids and giving back in his life. He's out there now doing what he loves, supporting his kids, and he's open to any advice that you might. Next, as we moved into July of this year, we had urban scholar Joe Nash. Urban scholar is wise beyond his years. He came up from an urban area, went through some things, and came out stronger, smarter on the other side, and now he is giving back. He is about to release his very own podcast called The Class is in Session, I think. So check that one out. I hope to get involved in that as well. Then I had Jasmine Yazoo DeVicious. Jasmine is a world champion female fighter, MMA fighter. Jasmine is based out of Canada, and I know she had another fight coming up recently. So Jasmine, we wish you all the best. Next, also in July, we had an actor, John Russell Coker. John, model, actor, he was just inspirational beyond belief. We got to check out all his new things that he has going on. Many of these people have really been the very model of resiliency. I think I've learned something from each and every person, and I hope you have too. If not, you can find these episodes out on iHeartRadio or Spotify. And I think Power 98.5 will be replaying some of the episodes as well as time allows. In August, we had Carrie Foreman. We had Dr. Yvonne Kay. We had Yvonne Kay and I talked about a lot of interesting topics. We talked about England. We talked about grief. We definitely had a lot of ways to get through things in your life. So go back and visit both Harry Foreman as well Yvonne Kay. Check out those episodes. That's episode 10 and 11. Next, I interviewed Yvonne Sandomir. Yvonne Sandomir has her own podcast. Survivor Strong is the name of that. So if you've been through any abuse or you're just looking for ways to support others through it, check out her podcast, Survivor Strong. I hope to attend. She has one coming up this week on the 28th. So I hope to be in that one if schedules allow. So again, Yvonne Sandomir, Survivor Strong. I had Meredith O'Brien, who put out a book, but she also has services for eating disorders. Her practice is in New Jersey, and she has different people who are working for her, and they have programs, groups. There's connections that you can find online. I highly recommend Meredith and her team. And then we had Sarah Miller giving a revealing tale of what she had been through and how she got beyond it. And it's true with each and every one who's been on the show. Everyone has learned something along the way, and they found their way to move forward. And that's one thing that I really want to make sure that you understand walking away from this, that there is hope. There's others who have been there, maybe to a different degree. Maybe they came out a different way, but it's really something that's so important that you have hope and know that you're not alone. Our show is just one of the many ways that we want to inspire hope and really give back to mankind by having people on, subject matter experts, as well as others who have, been through things and shown that they've been resilient. I had Bridget Hom on. Bridget Hom had also a book and provides services on. I definitely want to include that. But Bridget Hom's book is called Stuck on Ready. And this really is something that will help you with sanity, serenity, and success. Learn how to stop living under the influence and become the influence in life and in business. So check out her solution, Stuck on Ready. So that was Bridget Hom. Then I had Mary Okeju in September. Mary partnered with my daughter and I on the second book in the series of self-help books, fun book, like a diary, but more fun. It's a tool that will help you parent your child in a positive way, backed by the science of behavior to practical challenges you deal with in children. So this is a nice workbook where the kids can learn about their feelings and what's happening. So while they work through it and do the activities, they practice it, they learn how to be a better friend, and it's really something that they can call their own. There's tips in here from Mary, but listen to my interview with Mary. I also had Janet Sanders. There's a few people here that I actually couldn't connect with, so I'm going to add them to my up and coming, which we'll get to in a few minutes. In October, I interviewed a woman, Mary Catherine Lundquist, and Mary Catherine and I talked about aging, which is something that we're all going through at different phases of our life, but there's really a lot of good stuff in there. She gave us so many good ideas for how to cope with the aging process. So whether you're aging or you're supporting an aging parent, definitely check that one out. Mary Catherine, that was episode 19. Oh gosh, then I interviewed Courtney Owens. Courtney, she is just a doll and a gem. Let me tell you, Courtney is so powerful in her poetry and her speaking. Courtney she just shared something the other day, and uplifting. If you really want to connect with anybody on my list, you could start with Courtney because she's available for public speaking. She does have quite a following, and it's amazing. Then I interviewed another champion. I interviewed Jamal Hill. Jamal, who is a man of many talents. Jamal has a Swim Uphill Foundation, and basically he's saving lives and he's moving on to other things. He has a book that he's putting out, and it's going to go to schools all over the country to teach children about the dangers of water and about water safety. Jamal Hill is also, another prime candidate for resilience. Listen to episode 21, where we spoke about our challenges with our health and physical ability and inability. Then I had Bernadette Logue. I had Janet Sanders. I mentioned Janet she has a new program out. You definitely want to connect and try to become a founder in her program, Blood Sugar Central. Even if you're not diabetic, she has recipes and tools, and she has a very wonderful website with different sections to join. So take a look at Janet Sanders' Blood Sugar Central. Then I did something for you, which was the gift of awareness, how to recover and be set free. We're all going through things in life, and I think that it's not always easy for us to step back and look at ourselves. But the sooner we can do that, the better off we are, because then we're reaching that level. We're rising above. We're not staying in that emotional drama. It's something that a lot of people struggle with, going through what they're feeling and getting to those areas where they either want to ignore it, they want to flee, they want to use other things to distract them from dealing with it. But, if you can become aware, it's definitely a gift, because once you master it, things in life become much, much better. And then, guys, last week, Jennifer Kohler, a master numerologist, was on the show. And, as you can see, we have many different walks of life here on my show. And it's really a reflection of the culture and the world that we live in. Jennifer, actually, I just heard that she's starting her own podcast. So I am so honored to be part of that inspiration of hers. Again, she's going to share her gifts with people and show them how to be grateful, be intentional, and move up in life. I have some people who I'm going to interview in the near future. I have Chef Renee Blackman. She's a personal chef and caterer. She has had many clients that are actors and sports figures. She's been on Food Network's Chopped and Kitchen Crash. She's also been executive sous chef for the Delta Sky Club at JFK. Anyway, there's so many things, and she's on a new show, which she's excited about. So let's look to welcome her very soon. As well, I have some musical guests up and coming. Today, I reached back out to Michael Franti of Michael Franti and Spearhead. His music is just amazing. The lyrical content to really bring humanity together. If you haven't heard of him, check him out, Michael Franti. As well, I've connected with a few other musicians, but we're looking forward to having Michael Glabicki of Rusted Root on the show next year as well. He's working on some new music. A few others I have planned. I have Nick Christian. Nick Christian went through child weight gain. So we're going to learn about, body image. We're going to hear his true story of resilience through weight loss. And as well, a few other people that I really wanted to connect with. I have a few other people from network television. If you know anybody that you think fits the mold, and it could be actor, it could be musician, it could be someone in your line of business, it could be someone in your circle that has been through something. Because if you are just going through it, it's important to have other people share their stories with you so that you can learn, that you can grow through it. And that's one of the important things that I just have to hit home again. My story is one that I'm working on putting out there as well. Haven't done it yet. I was thinking perhaps the fall of 2022, but got some feedback, and I'm still considering my options on what to do. But anyone listening, I'm not ready yet to release that book. So it's in the works. Now, for the last part of today's show, since we are getting into the holidays, I wanted to talk a little bit about how you can survive the holidays, right? So whether you're staying home or going visiting people, whether the holidays are bringing you down because you're dealing with your own issues, right? There's things that you can do to help yourself. Let's start by asking yourself if you're being intentional. Oftentimes we go through the holidays with a checklist of things we have to do. We have expectations that we put on ourselves, and we have traditions that we need to follow, and we have gifts we have to buy, financial obligations. We have things. So you come into this season with expectations, with, financial worries, with emotional worries, dealing with people that you don't always want to deal with, whether it's your family or not. So the first thing I suggest is something that I learned recently. Ask yourself, what do you want to be able to say about your 2023 holiday season? What do you want to say? Did you want to say, I had fun? Perhaps you want to say that you spent time, energy, and resources with people that mean the most to you. Do you want to say that it was quiet and stress-free? Do you want to say that you did something meaningful and helpful for others? Maybe you want to say that you tried something new. Or maybe you just did all of your traditions, or maybe focused on some of them. It's important. You could try these things, rank them in order, and set your own expectations and be intentional about it for this holiday season. You're sure to come out a little bit better. So what if, this year I did not make homemade cookies, at least not as of yet. But if I don't get to it, it's okay. I don't have to have homemade cookies this year. If you set those expectations, you can then work backwards to your planning, right? So let's say you want to spend quality time with those close to you, and you want to buy gifts for people so that, if you celebrate Christmas, you're going to see them, or Hanukkah. And if you can combine things. You can do things where when you go out, you buy the gifts at the same time. You do something enjoyable. See a movie with your kids, or, make the phone call to someone who you miss, or invite someone you haven't seen in a while to make things happen, right? You can talk to your family about the events you want to attend so that you can be intentional and planful, and maybe not do everything that you normally would. Make the planning reasonable. Don't do too much. Don't do one thing every night. It's really overrated, because you're going to, deplete your cup, and you still have to keep your cup full. That's the next thing. If you have so many things on your plate, think about this. You have your physical health, your emotional health, cognitive health, your financial health, social health, spiritual health. These are all things that go into making you well as a person. So when you're thinking about your wellness during this season, make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're eating and drinking. Make sure your relationships are as you want them to be. Invest that time and communicate with each other. Let them know, hey, I'm tired. It's not that I'm ignoring you, but I want to talk. It's just I'm tired right now. Give me some time. Whatever it is, try to put it out there so that everyone knows how you feel, and you can ensure that you are filling your own cup. So if you sense that something is off, there's an imbalance and you're doing too much, or you're spending too much, or you are giving too much time for others, make sure that you manage that effectively. Set the boundaries because that is what's going to keep you sane and get through this happier. So, if you're comparing yourself to others, that's not healthy either, right? Some of the tips are, make sure that you don't try to, fix family conflicts or squabbles, right? You're not going to solve the problems of the world over the holiday dinner table. And then as well, don't buy into that perfection, right? So you're decorating, or you're gift buying, or you don't have to give into that perfection, right? So keep it simple and keep yourself full. That's the message. Flexibility is another key thing that I think is very important. If you are dealing with other people, they may not be flexible. So keep the traditions that work for you. If you are having other people, or maybe they have ideas, the younger generation might have different ideas on doing things, you can maybe take them up on it. Stay flexible, because when you give back, you can make a new memory and give back to someone else. And that's going to make you feel better in the long run when you look back on that memory. If you have must-do guidelines, consider the challenging commitments you have, right? Those relatives I mentioned, those people that, take your emotional strength, people that take your time, your energy, make sure you keep it manageable. And if it's not going to serve you well, then you might want to cancel. Don't commit to everything, especially things that are going to be challenging. Make sure you fill your tank. So if you are, you need the alone time, downtime, make sure you schedule that too. Put that into your schedule. You have to have joy. Do things that bring you joy while you are keeping all of your commitments. If you have any toxic experiences, if you have toxic people, you might need other support. So feel free and reach out. There's a lot of support out there, and it never hurts to talk to someone, right? If you have services through your work or not, you can call. Your state oftentimes has services here in the United States, but it's something that, just know that you're not going to go it alone. So when you're intentional, and that's kind of the whole framework of today's show, you're being intentional. You can, set time aside where you make a list and you stick to the list, and it's less to worry about. If you have other ways that you can deal with things, now might be the time to do it, right? You've been putting off making the call to the therapist. Maybe you have been, dreading or putting off a conversation with someone. Now might be the time to do that, where you can come out on the other side lighter. Again, there's many things that will help you short term versus long term. And, don't give up on your goals of inner peace. Again, we're all going through things. It's important that you take the steps to grow through them. And, if you're at a point where you want to reach out to someone, but you're not sure and you're not really ready to talk about it with a stranger, you can try my book, Emotional Strength Explained. It is a book that will give you a lot of insight. It helps you understand what's healthy for you, as well as it gives you ideas about what might be bothering you and how to get to the other side. It's not a journal that you just stick in a drawer and forget about. It's something that you would have to commit to doing just a little each day. And it varies. Some people spend 5 minutes, and at the end of the 30 days, they have self-reflection and they realize that there was areas of themselves that they want to work on. other people have realized the true value, and it helps to bridge relationships. It helps to bind together those areas, either of ourselves or with others, that really just have not yet been refined. And this is something that this tool is going to help you, right? If you came out of a situation where you're feeling down or depressed and you're thinking there's a better way, try my approach. It's really one that is simple, it's focused, and it works. Again, the way that we process information is such that each person is a little different. You come to conclusions at different times. But again, take it from me, a life coach, a career coach. I am a mother of 2 kids. I have experience dealing with thousands of clients, and I really urge you to try this. It's something I've been doing all my life, and it really works. So working on the next thing, which is another book. I've sent it out to people who are reviewing it now. It is a book for ages 8 to 12, our tweens, some of our most precious resources. And I'm really just looking forward to all that 2023 is going to bring. But I'm available. You can find me at www.aliciapozsony.com. Looking to revamp the website in January. But in the meantime, if you have any feedback, please provide that feedback to me. You can find me on my socials. If you have people that you want to encourage to be a guest on my show, I'm glad to feature them. If we could talk about inspirational topics of resilience and emotional strength, again, a lot of the guests on my show, I'm going to look to feature them as they have new things coming out. Definitely love to give back, and looking forward to everything we can do to bring hope to everyone in the coming year. So with that, broadcasting from New York and Manchester, United Kingdom, this is Alicia Pozsony on Resilient You. Thank you. Happy New Year.